Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Stellaris. We're in the year 2238, September-ish, late August, pushing into September. And we're not at war. I'm really quite glad about this. We've been working on our diplomacy quite significantly and trying to make sure that our energy credits are being well balanced by the funds that are coming through our various networks, which means leader retired. So the Minister of Defense served the Empire for 39 years and has resigned to go into planetary politics. That means we have an open counselor position. I guess we'll stick the renowned commander in there. That seems reasonable just for keeping things as focused as possible. Not really a good counselor though. Yeah. Conceptually, I'm not against some of the others. And in fact, while I think about it, we have someone who can go straight in over here. Where is Icewracker? Oh, you are governing Seldis, yeah. You are already doing that. We had one spare, but we don't have any more. So it might be worth us recruiting a new official. Let's have a look and see what we have. That's definitely for running fleets. You've already got bad stuff going. I feel like everyone's set up to specifically run fleets. What we'll do is we'll take a relatively young we'll take a relatively young official who's happy to gain experience. And we'll put them in on the Minister of Defense role. So if I take the renowned commander, because really, what are we getting from this? Not a lot. Because these are all specifically for working with fleets. So let's go Government Minister of Defense. Oh, you can have them in multiple positions. That's something I hadn't realized. But still, we will swap over. Oh, it has to be a commander. That's kind of interesting in itself. Well, I think it would be better for us to have Asquakar in there, and we'll swap this over for our new official. And then our expeditionary force, you're getting back your renowned commander. That I'm fine with. Okay. So our new official is literally just going to be a little planet watcher. We'll try and get them so that they support the growth of this over time. I think that's going to be a good idea. We've got another generator district on the go here. Back in the main capital, we can stick more buildings in. And actually, sticking energy grid buildings in is going to be a pretty smart call. It's going to upkeep cost 2. However, our technicians are going to produce 20% more. and we're producing 83.96 at the moment, so that's gonna work out in our benefit. Let's get an energy grid going now. And where's my other one? We could do similar here. We're only producing 34, so it's not quite going to be economical. I suppose no, it would. There would be a benefit. We just don't quite have the materials yet. So that'll be the next thing we build in just a few moments when we've got
System survey complete.
The minerals ready. Okay, we'll come back to sell this, and just have to remember to do that. So we have another system surveyed. We have plans to push down into the outer rim. I think this is going to go well for us. Survey, carry on exploring round. We have 148 influence at the moment, which means we can certainly get... Oh, you're already building that one? That's good. And you're on your way to support. Cool, that's all in hand. We have got selective defoliants, which means Celdis can have a blocker cleared. That's cool. Let's push for... Fleet supremacy, just to get our fleet command limit up, is not a terrible idea. Yeah, let's go for that. We are pushing a bit more into combat stuff than I would like, but needs must, as they say. So if we get rid of the dense jungle, that will allow us to have more generator districts. Our starbase is finished up here. Okay, come down and get the next starbase on the way straight away, and you can build the mining station in there. That's what we'll do. In fact, we've got a couple of dense jungles that we could remove. Not urgent, but it's good to know that we could. Crime continues to be a problem on Sheltered Reach, and an extensive criminal underworld has now taken root on the moon. Some areas have descended into lawlessness or been taken over completely by criminal organizations. So Sheltered Reach is our very, very... Oh, wow. Yeah. There's an actual criminal underworld. It's definitely a problem. So this is intolerable. It's adding the criminal underworld, which is just gonna send it through the roof.
I have important information for you.
Okay, thinking about what we could maybe do. If we have armies locally, that doesn't suppress crime. We would need enforcers. We don't really have space for enforcer buildings. Not without getting rid of something else. If I was to... We're really limited on these ones, aren't we? Okay. Okay, maybe the commercial zones. That would give another 200 enforcer jobs, which would drop crime by 25%. The other thing we could potentially do is run a planetary decision. if we launch an anti-crime campaign, it's going to cost us a little bit. However, our enforcers are going to do better at keeping crime in check. I can't imagine the usefulness of the crime lord jobs. Let's actually have a look at the economy. See if we can see the criminals. Okay, so they do produce a type of trade. But I don't think that's really going to be worthwhile. Let's do the anti-crime campaign. This is going to cost us some unity. But I think it's really going to be necessary. That's dropped the crime quite significantly, actually. Dropped it down to 36%, because it affects our production. So we can't be having that. Right, back to sell this. I was going to get the energy grid. What's this conductive works complex? Oh, yeah, that's just for allowing more generator districts. We want the energy grid, so we'll get that going. And I do think maybe we switch the commercial zones over for precincts. Just to really nip it in the bud.
Research complete.
There is our space torpedoes. So this has unlocked the frigate ship type. And obviously giving us space torpedoes. Let's get some new research on the way. Exotic gas extraction, synthetic crystal plants. Ooh. I like both of these. Gas extraction wells from farming. And we can exploit the space resource. Yeah, let's go straight in for exotic gas extraction. I'm going to be
Construction complete.
Kind of smacking our trade in the face by doing this. Because right now this is producing 24, so we're going to end up as a trade negative, which is fine because we can sell stuff, but it's worth paying attention to. Over in diplomacy, we've got a choice. We can either push down towards reducing border friction, or push for getting those favors. And I think push for getting the favors is a better one for us. In addition, by taking this, we can do advanced diplomatic actions without an embassy. So that might give us a bit more flexibility when we talk with some of our neighbors. Just a little bit more and we'll get those precinct houses on the way.
Research complete.
There we go. It's going to take a moment to build, but it's the right thing to do. Basic combat roles. This might be a good time for us to review our various fleet designs. Quantum energy states will get us more money. That's just flat. That's good. Exotic materials labs. They take gases, but we are learning how to do gas extraction wells. So this is a nice idea if we're going to build a research planet. Right now, though, I think we need more power. So let's go for the cheap reactor, and we'll just keep moving that forwards. But there is a lot there that I'm considering. How are you doing on your building? You have finished. So have you finished? We've got the station there. Oh, we don't have the minerals for this, that's why. We'll have them in a second. There we go. Get your mining station going. And we should think about what our next destination is. Exploiting this, we will have in a very relatively short amount of time. Let's double check on our research for technology. 51 months. Okay, so maybe not a super short amount of time. So after you're done here, we want to come up ready to survey, to claim this system. Right. Let's take a moment and have a look at our fleet stuff. So we are currently at our naval limit. We're planning to be at the command limit down here, but we haven't reinforced things anymore. Over on the ship designer, there's a frigate. It's quite an interesting one with that massive space torpedo. Shield penetration, big armor damage, and multiplicative damage based on the size of the target. Yeah, let's design a proper one. Okay, so if it's got the massive space torpedoes, we're expecting that this is going to be at a reasonable range. 30 is not huge, actually, so if it's going to be up close, we're probably going to want a bit more in the way of shields. And this is a torpedo boat. Ship roll is torpedo. It really is. That's just gone and stuck armor on it. So let's change that back. That hasn't done the power properly. I wonder what switched over. Let me just double check something. It could be one of the other options down here that it's swapped in. Here we go. It'll be the combat computer for torpedo. Which does more explosive weapons damage. Giving it artillery is not a terrible plan, but we'd need to make sure that the range of this was the same as the torpedoes. So your range 40, your range 100, your range 50, your range 75. Yeah, it just wouldn't work. We have to have it as torpedo. Strafing runs, that's what we do. And if we're doing strafing runs, the reactor booster will be doing what it can. Auto upgrade, save. Let's get rid of the previous one. And let's go through our various existing things and swap over the combat computers. So we've got our missile boat. Really, we want this to be maximum range, so this is going to be artillery. Which we will... Which then doesn't have enough power. Okay, let's switch that over. Override it. That's all good. Next up is the anti-armor one. We want this to be in close. The fire rate and the range up is a good option for the way we want this ship to be working. It's not going to be intercepting missiles. We don't need it to be doing swarm tactics. Let's keep this on artillery as well. Just shy on the power. That is a shame. And these all have the same power usage. Okay, well, we'll change over so it's a bit more armor instead. It means we're going to have a bit of leftover power, which does have some benefit, but obviously not super happy with that. Which means I think most of them are going to end up being artillery. It's just it's going to be limited by the actual range of the ships. So anti-shield is also going to be artillery at range 75. That makes total sense. We need to do another one of those. Let's save that. And then the destroyer. This is the medium and large. We want this to be probably 45 to 100, 0 to 75. We kind of want this to be mid-range. Yeah, stick up the chance to hit on this one. Rather than completely swapping things over, I'd love to swap this over for level 1. Its power usage is just a little bit less. Does mean the auto upgrade may not work properly, but we'll see how it goes. In fact, the macro batteries, if we did switch over from 14.82 damage to 16.58 damage, what kind of sacrifice would we need to make in terms of power? Probably swapping that entire thing out. I'm happy enough with that. The range is huge. The accuracy is not great, but we're doing what we can to ensure it hits. I think most of the destroyer gunships are gonna be line ships. Let's switch back to hiding obsolete ones. Picket ship, this has to be a picket ship. Special combat computers, I love it. This is going to be a line ship. And we've already done the artillery. And then the defense platform, that is already using the computer that we want. Love to see it. Okay. All ships have been customized. It means that we're going to have a bunch that need to be boosted ever so slightly. Let's get them upgrading. This is going to take us from 1.9k power, probably
Construction complete.
not going to see any direct difference on that. We have a new archaeological site somewhere. Ah, all the way down here on the frontier, next to another wormhole. Interesting. Not one we can explore because we don't have our frontier archaeology, but it's still interesting to see. How is everything coming along? Okay.
Special project complete.
So we'll deal with that in just a moment. Back on Sheltered Reach, we have our energy grid in place, which is improving our technicians' output, and it has boosted our technicians' output. However, we still have a lot of costs, so we are actively losing at the moment. I think once we get the crime down, that will probably help. So precinct houses are probably going to make a significant dent on that. Invisible Death. Our scientists have returned from the Zavon labs unscathed, with footage collected from the facility's security cameras. It shows lab scientists bound and gagged as guerrilla soldiers pry open the weapons strongbox. But to their dismay, the box is empty. Only minutes later, the rebels can be seen withering on the floor in intense agony, dark patches swelling across their bodies, and their skin rips open and a grey, unidentifiable matter spills out. The matter continues to expand, swirling hypnotically around them until one of the scientists activates the emergency system. Sprinklers douse the room in liquid, and an electrical surge passes through it, electrocuting all living things. Here the footage ends. Our crew can confirm that the strongbox was indeed empty. Wow. So that was the special project that we had down here. That planet is habitable. At least, no, that wasn't down here. That was over here. Yeah, you're on your way back to continue exploring now. Cool. You're doing the archaeology. That's it. We have so many things going on at the moment. Our upgrades have improved our military power of the fleet. That's good.
Ships upgraded.
And we've finished our construction over here. Look at that. We've managed to turn the energy credits around. So now we just need to tidy up the consumer goods. That should happen when we finish with the precinct houses swapping over. And then maybe look at producing some food.
Spaceborne life form encountered.
There's our fleet command limit up by 20. Get some new research. We could do an off-world trading company. I don't think that's amazing. Adaptive bureaucracy could lead to some interesting things, but we're not really going down subterfuge for this. Let's go with genome mapping, because that might lead to us being able to do traits on the species that we uplift. And speaking of the species that we uplift, how is everyone doing over here? In fact, it's going to be much better for us to just double check our species list. Everyone is uplifted. Yeah, that's right. We had the Oris last time. They're going to be natural bureaucrats. Lovely people. Looking forward to working with them.
Handshake protocols activated. Anomaly found.
Right. Okay, so we've got a couple of things. We had an announcement that there was a spaceborne life form that being encountered. That could have been just somewhere within range of one of our fleets scanning. Can't see it specifically, so we'll ignore it for now. Could have been a space amoeba. Could have been anything. The Racket Industrial Enterprise have come through. What can you offer us? They want to trade 200 food for 200 minerals. It's not a bad deal. Sure. And that gets them out the way. And then pigment poison up in the Ruthland system. I want to research this, but I want to get the system explored first. So we're not going to do this right now because that's 200 days. Ruthland's toxic biosphere gives the planet a unique color scheme. Leave B for now. So you're going to survey the system and then research the anomalies in the system. And that's how we're going to do that. You are taunting me, you lovely little place. Oh. Okay. One of our leaders has died. So our great scientist, Toba Nakita, has passed away at the age of 79 while in service to our empire. The people clamour for a memorial service to honour this leader's contribution to the coalition. A grand event will give everyone closure and bolster our ideals. I don't mind spending a little bit. Donating the body to science, however, it just feels like the kind of thing we would do. Especially for a scientist. After a brief commemoration, the scientist's body has been donated to science to contribute towards essential medical research and education. What's left from these procedures will, in the end, be water cremated and turned into mineral-rich fertilizer, ensuring no part of the body goes to waste. Ah, yeah, it's giving us a pragmatic approach. So researchers' output up for a bit and a little bit of research up. Such is the cycle of life indeed. So we have negotiations for a new chairperson. We can spend unity to force this, but I don't think it's going to be worth it. We'll let whoever gets the role get the role. It won't take them too long to decide. We can actually go after other systems in the meantime, such as over here. This is expanding our empire, of course, which is going to make the sprawl affect our various costs a bit more. But seeing as we have the influence available, I think it's fine for us to be doing that.
System survey complete.
All the way down at the base, we are carrying on our exploration and pushing out into that outer rim area. We haven't had much in the way of diplomacy this time. Let's have a quick look at our various contacts and see what's going on. So the Valkylians, it's tense. They definitely don't like us. Their relative power is still superior. Let's go to diplomacy and requires excellent relations or 50 trust, but I don't think we are ever going to be able to subjugate them. Yeah, let's have a look at our spy network. So we do have someone there. Is it worth us spending a little bit of influence to maybe like steal some technology? It's so many things that I would like to do. I'd really like to expand our potential in intel, but even spending 20 on that feels a bit much. Let's leave it alone for now. They're not chomping at the bit to try and get us killed, so that's something at least. It's not going to be long until we can get this system claimed and get another colony underway. What we could do is we could start... now we know that it's an Alpine world, we could get a colony ship being built. So let's get Genesis Arc. We want it to be someone who's going to be good at Alpine worlds, of course. It's not going to be a generator place, so potentially bureaucrats and agriculture. That could work. It's going to have to be the Royal. There's just no one else that's really suitable. So, governing ethics, cool, they like that. Job efficiency for bureaucracy, that's fine. They're a bit unruly. Genesis Arc on the way. Okay. Baronopodon has been elected chairwoman. Who were they previously? They might have been the minister. They were probably the Minister of State. That's fine. We do have other people that can step into that role. We have your Eye for Talent, your Principal. That will give us a bit of stability. You're quite old, though. Still, better to have stability than not. So we'll go for you. And as Minister of State, you're going to be helping out with the various envoys. So that's fine. At least until you pass away. It's a job for life because you're old. And of course, the chairwoman has leveled up. So in the role on the council, there's a lot of potentially good things that can happen. We're getting more minerals. You're not a planet or sector governor. Although are you a sector governor now? You can be a sector governor, so we could just up the amenities while you're in position. Let's go for manufacturer. And we'll try and stick you in that role. Or at the very least, I don't think we can have someone doing both roles. I think you were probably in this role beforehand. I think that's how I had it set up. So everyone else is already doing a job. We can still hire. That is not a terrible plan. Would there be anyone with extra trade? That could work. Extra minerals is not a terrible plan either. But I think extra trade, because this is a governor role. You're going to exceed the leader cap. That's annoying. Because we got 3 out of 3 officials, of course. So if we take out officials and we just go for scientists or commanders, is there anyone that's going to be beneficial for us? Maybe a commander, a cheap commander, a young cheap commander. You get experience pretty fast. Let's get you. And at some point, we'll find a way of putting the chairwoman back into a worthwhile place. I mean, I'm sure she's fine as the chairwoman. It's a bit frustrating when you've got a leader who is clearly geared to doing particular things. Yeah, I would love to have you as a sector governor. I really would. Okay, well, let's push on. And you are nearly done here. Ooh, volatile motes. Just as soon as we can, we will get this place secure.
Research complete.
I want to build my starbase. Right, what research have we got? Population growth speed up. That's good. That's coming in nice and fast. Farming subsidies. Agricultural focus. As a specialism, it could be good for our new agriculture planet. Yeah, let's go for food processing, and we'll just try and shore up that side of our empire. Our new urban world is coming along quite nicely. Ooh, it's got high gravity. I hadn't noticed that before.
Construct.
Alright, let's close that off and see what we have. We've been doing the Habitable Worlds survey. Through our surveys of habitable worlds, our biologists have collected a vast amount of data on alien life forms. Many of our older theories on the development of life have been disproven, and our scientific community has had to build new models from scratch. Our most interesting findings are being displayed at the newly dedicated Museum of Exobiology on Sheltered Reach. The public is enthralled, and many donations have come in to aid in the continued search for strange life forms. That's a hell of a lot of society research and a good amount of energy credits. Speaking of Sheltered Reach, let's have a quick look and see. Crime is at 0. That is
System
much
survey
better.
complete.
It is obviously costing us a little bit, but this is necessary for what we've tried to do. So we could have another voltaic production yard. There are 800 jobs available, of which 200 are technicians. So I think we're probably good here. I just really wish we had more money coming in. Okay. Construction's finished down here. Build a mining station. Survey has finished up here. Build a starbase. In the meantime, you can move on to the next one. Survey. May as well go survey here, then survey here, then survey here, and survey here. That'll keep you busy for a while. No. You're researching the anomaly first, then you're carrying on, because that is a challenging and interesting anomaly that we wanted to get to the bottom of. There we go, that's much better. Our other science ship is on its way back up, that's good. I think we're in a pretty solid place. And that colony ship is almost ready.
Research complete.
There is the fusion reactor. Okay, that's going to allow us to go back over those designs. Next up, I think moat stabilization. Given we've seen moats in that system just there, I do want this, but we can research this afterwards. Let's get moat stabilization now. And that's going to allow us to finish exploiting the various resources that we've already got on our doorstep.
Construction complete.
There's our new Genesis Ark. Come up here. And when you're here... There it is. That actually looks a little tiny. Colonize it. We'll have it also... We want this to be an agri-world. We really do kind of need food. I know you're good at bureaucracy and stuff. But we'll have this as a proper farm place. And yeah, Ruthlum Prime... No. Let's call it... Sarat. Sarat is a good name for a frontier farming colony. Alright, well, unpause.
Construction complete.
Let that get on its way. You finished doing your little bits down here. This hasn't finished being surveyed, so what we might do is we might just leave you here for the moment until our technology for the moats is in place. Not the moats, the gases. The gases that are right there. We do have other ones that we want to go around and get, of course. But I think we might need to find a way of reducing our sprawl. And actually, while you're here, get the mining stations going. Valkylians are displaying psionic potential. That's worrying. For our neighbours who are pretty angry. Latent psionic powers have begun to manifest in certain individuals belonging to the Valkylian species, according to leaked reports from authorities in the Valkylian Assembly. This must be a fairly recent development since we have no record of Valkylians ever displaying psionic abilities on file. According to the leaked reports, these powers are so far limited to a very small minority of the species as a whole. Scientists have offered no explanation. Okay, well, with that, I think that's going to be a good point to finish off this episode. Thank you very much for coming along, everyone. I do hope you are continuing to enjoy this. Glad we've got our next colony on the way. As always, if you have enjoyed this, be sure to give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another episode of Stellaris. See you soon!